Presentation is about how to make the body of essay number 3 one of your main points in essay number 4. So if you'll remember from the PowerPoint about essay number 4, the argumentative synthesis essay, you'll know that there are supposed to be about 3 main points in that essay, but one of those main points will be the entire body from essay number 3. Not the intro, not the conclusion, just the body from essay number 3. And that's what this presentation basically goes over. So here's your checklist. Before you're really ready for this PowerPoint, you need to complete your explanatory synthesis. You should have your final draft pretty much intact. Number 2, develop your thesis statement for the argumentative synthesis. At least have a rough draft version so you know the direction of your paper. Number 3, create an outline for the argumentative synthesis. You need to know what your main points are going to be. Number 4, you need to overhaul the introduction for the explanatory synthesis so that it has the purpose, focus, the scope of argumentation instead of explanation, which was the goal with the explanatory synthesis. Number 5, and this is really what this presentation is about. You'll be using the body paragraphs from the explanatory synthesis for one main point in the argumentative paper. We're going to go into detail during this next few slides. Number 6, beyond this main point, you'll need to develop at least 2 more main points for essay number 4, the argumentative synthesis. Number 7, you'll need to develop a counter argument. So we can actually talk about what that looks like in a separate presentation. And number 8, you'll develop a new conclusion for the argumentative synthesis. So, you mostly need to scrap the conclusion for essay number 3 and just write a new one for essay number 4. So before you watch this PowerPoint, make sure you've already seen the PowerPoint for argumentative synthesis essay. It just tells you what the assignment is about and how it works. If you haven't watched that yet, this particular presentation might not make a lot of sense. And secondly, there's another presentation called multi-paragraph main points. Unlike the critique essay, unlike the explanatory synthesis essay, your main points in the argumentative paper are going to occupy more than 1 paragraph each. So most main points will be 2 or 3 paragraphs, maybe even 4 paragraphs. But unlike the 5-paragraph essays we've done so far, this essay has like 12 paragraphs. It just depends on how many paragraphs are in each main point. So step 1. Identify the thesis from essay number 3. It should be located at the end of your introduction. This thesis you will use as the topic sentence for one of the main points in essay number 4, which means you'll need to relocate it. So it doesn't really matter which main point you're developing in essay number 4. You could take the body of essay 3, those 3 middle paragraphs of essay 3, and you could turn them into main point 1, or you could turn them into main point 2, or you could turn them into main point 3 for essay number 4. It doesn't matter which main point those paragraphs become. But basically, third bullet point, if the essay from essay number 3 does not contain 3 main points, you might consider using an internal preview. We'll talk about those later in this presentation. So, let's take a look at a sample intro from an imaginary essay number 3. This is not any particular student's introduction. I wrote this. This is about a paper. This is from a paper that's about public transportation in the United States. The yellow highlights at the end of this page are, that's your thesis in this paragraph. If the United States would develop better, more abundant forms of public transportation, the country would see unemployment decrease, the environment improve, and tourism decrease. So this presentation, actually, this thesis features a preview built into it. Some of you write thesis statements that preview your main points, and some of you do not. If you don't, then we'll take a look at the internal previews. Step 2, relocate the thesis. You'll need to actually move it. Instead of having it at the end of your introduction in main point in essay number 4, it needs to be at the beginning of the main point. Now we're talking about the thesis from essay 3. That thesis is going to become a topic sentence for the main point. You're going to have a totally new thesis for essay number 4. The thesis from essay number 3 becomes a topic sentence for main point 1 or 2 or 3, whichever one. In the next example, notice how the thesis has been relocated to the beginning of the first paragraph of the multi-paragraph main point. Note the example on the next page features only the first few sentences of the first paragraph of a multi-paragraph main point. So here's an example. You can see that these two paragraphs are identical, except there's basically two things that are different about it. One, the obvious thing, there's a yellow sentence at the beginning of the sample on the right. Now, the reason for that is we've taken the thesis statement out of essay number 3, and we just plopped it down at the beginning of main point 1 in essay number 4. So that thesis from essay 3 is now just a topic sentence for a main point. The other thing that's actually different about this paragraph is what it represents. In essay number 3, this paragraph represents one whole main point. But now in essay number 4, this same paragraph is only a third of a main point. There's 3 paragraphs in this main point now. These are multi-paragraph main points. Step 3. This is an optional step depending on what you're using for a topic sentence. This is adding an internal preview. So if your topic sentence comes from a thesis that doesn't offer a preview, you might consider adding one. Here's an example of a topic sentence that doesn't have a preview. The United States must bolster its public transportation system to avoid an ever-widening split between the upper class and lower class that will result in economic collapse. There's no forecast of what each paragraph is going to be about in this main point. So we could add this preview. Specifically, an improved public transit system would help lower unemployment rates, bring additional revenue into the country through tourism, and reduce taxes, regulations, and restrictions on corporations by improving the environment. So we'll have one paragraph in this main point that is about the unemployment rate dropping. We'll have another paragraph that's about income by tourism, and we'll have another paragraph about how improving the environment can actually help corporations and improve the economy. So that's how we would add a preview. This just belongs right after the topic sentence at the beginning of the main point. So in short, essay number 3 structure was basically 5 paragraphs. Introduction, main point 1, main point 2, main point 3, conclusion. But essay number 4 could possibly be like 12 paragraphs long. 1 paragraph for the intro, and then paragraph 2, main point 1. This is where we take the thesis statement from essay 3 and turn it into a topic sentence for main point 1. Main point 1 occupies 3 paragraphs, just like the body of essay number 3 occupied 3 paragraphs. Then we go on to paragraph 5, which is main point 2. And here you'll have another topic sentence, a topic sentence that guides paragraphs 5, 6, and 7. You could include an internal preview as well at the beginning of this main point if you need one. And then paragraphs 8, 9, and 10 are main point 3. So you'll have a topic sentence at the beginning of paragraph 8 that will guide the reader through the next 3 paragraphs. Paragraph 11 is your counter-argument. There is a separate presentation for counter-arguments. And then paragraph 12 is your conclusion. And that concludes this short presentation on how to take the body of essay number 3 and turn it into one main point for essay number 4.